One-goal games, overtimes, and shootouts. All very common for the Kraken as they continue to play solid hockey in the early part of the season. Welcome to another edition of Kraken Home Ice. In tonight's episode, we're hearing from Kraken veteran Jaden Schwartz on the team's growth this season and his leadership style. Now, with over 10 games under his belt, Berkly Catton has broken into the NHL. He tells us about what it's like to be living his dream. Plus, we're sitting down with head coach Lambert. He explains the keys to capitalizing on the offensive end.
Thursday, the Winnipeg Jets were in town. In the first period, Capo Kakko hanging out front. Jaden Schwartz throws it on goal, and Kakko redirects it. That ties the game at 1-1. Second period, after a Jets goal, Seattle ties it up again. Ryan Winterton shot, deflected right to Vince Dunn, and he lifts it top shelf. Winnipeg scores on a power play to make it 3-2 going into the third. Seattle wasn't giving up and answered back. Ellie Tolvanen with a one-timer for a power play goal. 3 minutes later, Matty Beniers sees Jordan Eberle out front. Eberle knocks it in. He also added an empty netter to seal the deal as the Kraken win it 5-3.
Well done, guys. Okay, good comeback, good character win. Huge kill at the start of the third period. Well done there. Okay, that was a turning point, and then power play came up big, and we just kept pressing. Okay, we just kept pressing. Like the second period, you know, we made a couple of mistakes. We didn't hang our heads. We came back and we won the hockey game like we said we were gonna.
On Tuesday against Columbus, Matt Murray was on fire between the pipes. It was a scoreless game late in the first period. Nice setup for Ryan Winterton out front, and he buries it, cracking up 1-0. Then, in the final minutes of the second period, Adam Fantilli sneaks the puck past Murray to tie the game 1-1. They go to overtime and a shootout. That's when Charlie Coyle scores the game winner in the fourth round. Kraken lose 2-1.
There's been a lot of eyes on rookie Berkly Catton in the early part of this season. There was some speculation on what moves would be made before his entry-level contract expired. Brianna Vasquez caught up with Catton to talk about his early progress in the NHL.
The uncertainty is gone. Berkly Catton is a professional hockey player. Now, with over 10 games under his belt, the Kraken have chosen to burn his entry-level contract. And it looks like Catton's time in the NHL will continue.
This year, it's just about growing and understanding the pro hockey, not just pro hockey, but the NHL game, and growing as much as I can.
The team does have the opportunity to loan him to Team Canada for the World Juniors. But in the meantime, he'll be tested at the NHL level. Berkly didn't see ice time with the Kraken until October 20th. But with Jared McCann out of the lineup, Catton has stepped up.
The first one, obviously, to play that and just get that, and then, play a couple and then play 10. It's been good. A lot of different positions and stuff like that, but I've been learning a lot. It's been great.
The biggest lesson so far?
Honestly, just like how responsible you have to be all over the ice.
Lambert has talked about Catton's versatility and the fact that he can play him in various positions. Catton says he's ready and willing to do whatever it takes.
Whether that's being wing or center, but I like playing both because I get a good perspective on everything and all the systems, and just being reliable wherever I can and play up and down the lineup, which has been great.
For a kid who's been dreaming of skating with the pros his whole life, there are a few things that have surprised him.
I don't know, it's kind of cliche, but just like how good everyone is. Like there's no weak links on any team, and everyone can make plays. If you're the littlest bit out of position, you'll get exposed.
Berkly is playing with his role models and is taking every opportunity to learn.
It's been pretty cool with Ebbs, I think. One of my role models growing up, and then, to be on the line with him for a bit, and he's kind of helped me out a lot. And, Chandler too, he's from Saskatoon, he's helped me out a lot.
Now, going into the rest of the season with more certainty, Catton is keeping his eyes ahead.
Come the end of the year, I want to be a better player than I am now, and just keep building and learning, and there's going to be lots of downs, but there'll be lots of ups too. So, I'm excited to go through it.
On the veteran side, Jaden Schwartz currently leads the Kraken in points. He's a guy who likes to lead by example on and off the ice. We talked to Schwartz about the team's progress this season.
Jaden Schwartz brings playoff experience, scoring ability, and consistency to the Kraken roster. A constant on the top line, Schwartz tries to contribute any way he can.
Off the pad, they score! Jaden Schwartz on It's just the all-around game that I'm personally trying to bring.
On a team motivated to make it back to the playoffs, Schwartz is encouraged with what he's been seeing.
Our team has a goal here, and I don't think we've been obviously very happy with the last couple of years. So with how things have gone, so you can tell we have a hungry group.
Statistically, Schwartz is enjoying one of his more productive seasons with Seattle. In the 2024 campaign, he had 26 goals and 23 assists over 81 games, his best with the Kraken so far. He's on a similar track this season.
Jaden Schwartz, who was in the right place at the right time to pounce.
Personally, it's just taking it day by day, one game at a time. Kind of focus on my all-around game, my work ethic, the little things, and usually the points and the numbers look after themselves when you're doing the other things right.
Some leaders are vocal. Others, like Jaden, let the hockey do the talking.
I've always just been kind of a guy to just be myself. On the ice, I just like leading by example as much as I can to make sure I'm playing a good 200-foot game and, do whatever it takes for the team.
And this team is showing grit.
For the heavy hit along the boards.
Now, they need to finish games stronger.
Well, we're getting points. We're in every game. We're playing hard, we're checking hard. Defensively, we've been really good. Offensively, we obviously got to find a way to start winning some of these overtime games and shootout games. There's a lot of positives you can take, and then there's some learning experiences too.
The Kraken have not backed down from a challenge this season. Next on Kraken Home Ice, we hear from head coach Lambert on the performance of the goalies this season and the competition within the divisions. And in this week's shootout, the players talk superpowers. Find out which players wish they could fly.
Kraken goaltending currently ranks in the top 10 in the NHL. But when it comes to offense, this team has been struggling to score goals. We asked head coach Lambert, is it more about creating shot attempts or is it about better accuracy with those shots?
That's a good question. It's always both. We've had enough shot attempts, but we're getting them blocked or, we're missing the net. And I think when you struggle a little bit to score, you try and become a little too fine with it, instead of just getting it on net and, maybe creating a second opportunity. But certainly, for us, we're getting the chances. The defensive side of the game hasn't compromised the offensive side in terms of our chances. But when we get our chances, we have to do a better job of getting shots through. There's fractions of a second in this game and in every sport. When you take a tenth of a second too long, somebody gets a stick on it and it ends up in the stands.
That's interesting that, to hear the head coach say that, because the NHL game is so fast and it is just a matter of fractions of a second, isn't it?
If you grab a puck and, take one little stick handle with it, it's too late. And, you can do that maybe, in the American League level or at the junior level, but at this level, it's just, it's just not happening. So we can do a better job of it. We're working on it.
Let's talk about your goaltending. It is ranked in the top 10. Matt Murray had a game this week where he made 33 saves, gave up only one goal against Columbus. He said that he's feeling better now and getting more comfortable in there because he's healthy again and he's had some reps now. How much does that help a player?
I think all three of our goaltenders have done a good job, of gaining their confidence, working with our goalie coach, and I thought Matt was outstanding in our games that he's played. The results, we haven't given him any, so-called run support. His record probably should be better than it is, but he does look like he's starting to feel it. He's a big body, he plays his angles well, and he's really calm in the net, which is it's a really good look for us as well. When a goaltender's calm in the net, everything else from out seems to be a little bit more calm. If you're scrambling around, then things get a little bit more scrambly.
How about this division? All of a sudden, it's kind of flipped upside down. Last year, the bottom three teams are now three of the top four teams in the division. When you're trying to flip the script like that, what are some of the key factors that maybe some of these teams are playing better hockey to start the season?
You've got some youth that has come along. Now it's instead of year one or two of some of the younger players, they're in years 3 and 4. So they're becoming more comfortable, growing in the league. And it's a league that there isn't any bad teams, and any team can beat any team on any given night. And I don't know if I've seen, it's close, but I don't know if I've seen the NHL this tight in every division and in both conferences. The ability to be ready for every game, the understanding that you have to be ready every game is paramount right now.
One last question, a little bit off the cuff here, but as I continue to research your team, I found that the Kraken have one of the teams with the highest average shot speed in the NHL, which means your guys can rifle the puck. Is there a couple of guys on this team who have cannons for shots?
Well, Neiman has a cannon, Tolvanen has a cannon, Vince Dunn can shoot, Montour can shoot. We have guys that can shoot the puck. Chandler Stevenson can shoot the puck, and this is where, from our perspective, from an offensive standpoint, let's get a shoot first mentality.
Stevenson with a shot, he scores!
How about you, playing with or coaching in the past? Who had a great rocket shot?
Coaching days, obviously Ovechkin, right? So I coached him for 4 years, and that one's at another level. When I first started playing, I came into the league, and there was an American-born defenseman who was, for quite a while, the top-scoring American-born defenseman in the league. He's since been passed by, Brian Leach, Phil Housley, whatever, but his name was Reed Larson. Guy from Minnesota.
Red Wings too?
Yeah, I played with him in Detroit for the Red Wings, and that was back in the day when they didn't have screens up behind the net. So if you're sitting in the stands behind the net, and I witnessed one night him taking a shot that went off a guy's leg and up into the stands, and I just can't even imagine that the game was played without netting.
The Kraken Community Iceplex is home to 2 pro teams now. The Seattle Torrent has started training for the franchise's first season. Up ahead on Kraken Home Ice, we hear from the team. Plus, Jennifer Bottrell has helped lead the way for professional women's hockey. Next, her impact on the game. The Seattle Torrent are getting ready for their first season. The team hit the ice at the Kraken Community Iceplex on Tuesday for the franchise's first practice. 4-time Olympian Hillary Knight leads the team. She says working hard and competing will be essential for the team.
The more we can relate to one another and galvanize as quickly as we can, we're going to be super successful, and that's only going to translate to our on-ice compete and all the other things that come in, all the fun things that come into playing a game. But I think if we can come together and move as a group immediately with speed and compete, we're going to be in a really good spot.
I smile at the landscape of women's professional hockey today because it's what we all wished and hoped for. For my daughters and all girls, the league is such a powerful example of women and girls living out their dreams.
Jennifer Bottrell, the sister of Kraken general manager Jason Bottrell, was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. She's a 3-time Canadian Olympic gold medalist, as well as a Harvard graduate and a broadcaster. The Bottrells share what this honor means to their family.
In the player category, our first inductee has a trophy case that includes an incredible 4 Olympic and 5 Women's World Championship gold medals. This Harvard University graduate was also a 4-time NCAA All-American and the only 2-time recipient of the Patty Kazmaier Award as the top player in women's collegiate hockey. The Hockey Hall of Fame is pleased to welcome Jennifer Bottrell as an honored member.
Being inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame means a great deal to my heart. On a day like today, I think of so many people that have been a part of my journey and really made me the person, the hockey player that I was. I think the first ones that come to mind are my immediate family.
Well, I think she's just always been someone who's very compassionate, certainly very driven, whether it was in academics, athletics. She was always such an amazing athlete. Obviously, everything that she sort of tried to gravitate to, she kind of excelled in it. But it was also a situation where she was driven to to improve. Growing up, hockey wasn't in the Olympics, so she actually played a game ringette up in Canada a lot.
My brother Jason too, my older brother Jason, that he was the first one I went to the outdoor rink at the end of our neighborhood and played basement hockey with. And my parents' description, they said when I first started playing this sport, they could see my smile through the cage. And Jason, I think he just showed me how it was done. He was motivated, driven, and just wanted to pursue excellence, and I wanted to follow his footsteps.
And then once she knew that hockey was going to be in the Olympics, it wasn't a situation where as many girls were playing hockey. You had to sort of look for different coaching, different opportunities, better competition. She moved out to Calgary from Winnipeg to sort of push herself there and to make the Olympic team as an 18-year-old, and then go on to have that as much success. It was fascinating.
Yeah, her accolades are unbelievable, and the Olympic medals and the accomplishments and Harvard degree. I looked up to Jennifer myself. I went to an Ivy League school. I actually almost followed her to Harvard just because of the recruiting video that they put together. That was a highlight video of Jennifer and her career. And
certainly on a day like today and the recognition with the Hockey Hall of Fame, it does encourage me to reflect on how far the women's game has grown.
Jennifer, I think you go through a whole long list of people beside her that have been part of that mission, and it was just driving things for the right reasons.
I often describe that not every kid has to play, and not every girl has to play hockey, but I think it is incredibly important that they now have the choice to be involved in the sport.
Seeing what they've done for the growth of the game, the time that they've put in as pros, they've done, and they accomplished everything that our guys do every day, and deserve all the respect in the world for that tireless work without any compensation. It's just strictly the love of the game, and I think that's why this, induction is so special.
I have always loved the sport of hockey, and it's been such a huge part of my life, and to have a recognition such as this is well beyond anything that I could have dreamed about as a little girl growing up.
When you're listening to a Kraken game on the radio, that game is brought to life by the broadcasters. Next on Kraken Home Ice, we go behind the scenes with the Kraken radio team.
Whether you watch the Kraken on TV or listen to the game on the radio, the broadcasters help bring it all to life. On the radio side, it's Everett Fitzhugh, Al Kaniski, and Mike Benton. We caught up with the trio at Climate Pledge Arena.
The combination of Everett Fitzhugh's play-by-play, Al Kaniski's color commentary, and Mike Benton's hosting creates a magic on the airwaves of Kraken games. And the talented trio have a lot of fun doing it.
On radio, it's different than on television because I have to paint that full picture. I have to tell you where the puck is, who has the puck. You can't see it. And that's honestly why I love this part of my job so much, is because I do get to be the painter.
Ben Myers gets loose for Winterton. Scores!
Yeah, and I have the luxury of not always following the play. I can watch a player that's made a play behind the play while he's got to keep up with the play. I can watch that player go back to the bench holding his leg. I can get the binoculars out and find out what's going on, or I can drop in a funny dad joke if I want to. So, I have that luxury a little bit to have a little more fun.
Yeah, I wasn't wrong. I just wasn't correct this time.
This time. That's what my wife always says. My goal is if I can make Everett hit the cough button at least for 10 seconds and laugh off mic.
Maybe they heard us. All right, hold my beer.
What I really find so important in the host position is that for pregame, it's setting up the scene and giving the listener the most important parts of what they have to understand about the game. Kraken still with a 5-on-4. When you listen to a hockey game on radio, you're gathering so much that is, pleasing to the ear, from the sounds of the puck, skates, everything, but also
the broadcasters.
The broadcasters, what we're saying, it drives a lot of what you want to tune in for.
These three have been working together on the radio for 3 years. They found a balance between creating a broadcast for both dedicated and new Kraken fans.
We've got die-hard hockey fans that have been hockey fans for decades, and we get new hockey fans. There's 2,000 new hockey fans in this building every night, and some of them are listening, and so I take that into account when explaining things. I don't want to make anybody feel silly, but I also want to educate people and say, this is why this happened, this is how it happened.
I think there's something romantic about sports on the radio, right? Hockey on the radio. Here in Seattle, everyone grew up listening to Dave Niehaus and Rick Riz and how they're able to make the sport come alive. And to be able to do that for the first ever NHL team is really, really cool.
The more that these guys do their thing, the more that this team does their thing, the more and more that you're going to draw people in.
And something that might surprise listeners.
How much preparation goes into this?
That's a very good one.
We are not just showing up literally a half hour before we go on a microphone and start chit-chatting and spitballing. Yeah, let's just wing it here. You know, there's a lot that goes into our line of work.
Part of that preparation is being wherever the team is. Everett, Al, and Mike travel with the Kraken on every road trip.
We're on the same planes, we're in the same hotels, we go to every morning skate and every practice, we interact with the players. We're always talking about the last game, the next game, you know, what happened in that game. You rely on those interactions with the player to make a better broadcast.
Hockey players are heroes to many, whether they're getting a big win or saving the day. In this week's shootout, we asked the players if they could pick a favorite superpower, what would it be?
Teleportation.
Teleport. Super strength. Tell the future. Time travel.
Mind reading. That'd be fun.
Probably be invisible. Invisibility.
Just be in the zone anytime I want, you know, just with a click, to be present, you know, all the time.
Superpower would be fly around, be able to fly and go places and see different things.
I don't know, maybe I can fly.
To fly.
Probably to fly.
Be able to fly. That'd be pretty cool.
Flying. Ability to fly.
Flying?
Probably to fly. That'd be awesome.
As for the Kraken, their next road trip starts Tuesday in Detroit. And that'll do it for this episode of Kraken Home Ice. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.